So, good morning, everybody, and welcome to Cellissimo, the first of our masterclasses. I hope that you are all recovered from our opening concert last night from Kylemore Abbey. What a wonderful celebration it was of the cello. And thrilled that we have this masterclass program. We have 8 wonderful students here. 4 of them are going to take part this morning, the other 4 in the next class. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Cellissimo. And our first teacher, this morning's teacher, is an old pal of mine, Adrian Mantu, the cellist of the wonderful Contempo Quartet, resident in Galway for many years now. And Adrian will have a lot of wisdom and wit to impart to our young students. So Adrian, welcome and enjoy the class. And Alice Kelly is also here. I'd like to welcome Alice. She's our Music for Galway intern and she's looking after the masterclass program. And she's going to make sure everyone gets their allotted 40 minutes. So enjoy the class and thank you, everyone.
Great, thanks very much, Vinny. We're just going to get started and Robert will be our first student today. So I'll bring him on and I'll give a quick 10-minute warning at the end of your class just to let you know when to finish up.
Okay.
Thanks.
Great. Just give me a second to make sure I can see you, which I cannot. I don't know why. Because I'd like to see only you. Okay. Okay, yeah, perfect. Great. So good morning, everyone. So I imagine you are going to start with what would you like to start with? Or
first movement of the 5th Beethoven Sonata.
Amazing. Very good. Yeah. Okay, good. So let's start from first of all, what edition are you using? Just to and is it like 2008 or 2004, like an older?
I'm not sure.
Anyway, we'll talk because you know there is a new digital version on Henle, and there'll be lots of corrections. And I am amazed. I've been listening to maybe at least 20 or 30 recordings, and none of them follows the latest source. So my pinpoint is no one is going to die if you play the different edition, but it would be worth mentioning those, yeah, because yeah, all the great cellists, it was not available when they recorded those ones. So it will be good with the young generation. Maybe you can take over and do it a little bit differently. Okay, so hope you go. Okay, thank you very much. We'll just talk about this beginning and then we move on from the double bar, yeah?
Yeah.
So, okay, good. Yeah, very, very nice. So you can play this very well. Would you play this in a concert during the student program here, or are you?
Not this. I'm playing another movement of. I'm playing the second movement of the Frank Sinatra.
Okay, good. So then we can go for the kill on this piece to chop and stick. So there's no drama. Okay, Grant. Just first bar, there is a slur which I've noticed you changed. But this one you started very nice. And was it me? Did you separate those?
Yeah, I separated them.
Yeah, very important. Now, in Beethoven and any other composer, I mean, in Mozart, Haydn, the articulation was it's more or less all the time the same. Once you get into the mood, you cannot go wrong. Now, in Beethoven, especially in Beethoven, our attention to the detail should be at max. So we don't have to allow our interpretation at all into it. So, of course, if you try the right things millions of times, by the end of the day, say, I just want this. Because, by the way, there are millions of editions for this version. But I can tell you that's for sure in all 5, 6 different manuscripts, editions, there's a slur there. So, pam, 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 pam. And if you notice on the first 3 notes, I hope you have the right edition there are no dotted notes or, but on the D, is this funny sign. It's more than a dot. In Romania, we call it carrot, like a carrot, yeah. So now there is a debate with these notes. The musicologist will say this is 25% of the value of the note, and the rest is just the pose. Other conductors, they say they are special notes. So, but what I'm saying is that you have ta, 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 ta. That's like a jump in a way. And then you need taram, so it's badly needed. So even if there was no slur there, I would have slurred it anyway, because after you do, so I play different voices. This give a different color, and also this slur brings you into the diminuendo. If you play separate bowings, you do the opposite. So again, it's very important, the information. So when you get some information into the music, means that you might have to play the opposite how you feel. Because music is not rocket science. We know to follow the shape of the melodic line. We know the harmony is dominant, dominates the tonic, subdominant is before. So it's very, very easy rules. Now, if the composer wants the other way around, we'll put in some information, like driving on a motorway, and you know it's 120, but then you see some signs. It's like, I don't know, animal crossing by, or I don't know, under construction. So if you don't follow the signs, you might break the car, yeah? And that's not the case here. You might break your fingers, but other than that, it's safe. So let's try to do a huge diminuendo. Pam, 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 paradam, pam, pam. It's very important, the acquisition. Pam, paradam, pam, pam. Let's try this, just the beginning, because this is how you present yourself. I'm me, the new best cellist in town. Good. And now there are a few, because of course, slurring the notes, change the bowings. So you always have 2 options, like either you start up bow, like the majority of cellists do, and then, or there are lots of cellists also, I see even Sol Gambetta, she's starting like you, I think, down bow, and then she goes, so 2 ups. It's up to you. There's only 2 options, so that's good, because in music we always have to have not plan B, but at least 2 good options. So you try them all. I know it will be tricky on the spot, because it took me days to figure it out. Do I start down bow to make like an explosion, or up bow, but then I have to dig out into it. But the idea is that you have to go pam 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 pam. Yeah, like you open the door, and then there's quietness at the end. Everyone waiting for you to continue. Okay, good. So let's keep going now a little bit more, maybe 8 bars. Good. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Grant. Now, I don't know. I'm trying to show on the screen my digital part. You tell me if you can see anything or not. I'm talking about some mistake, no, wrong notes. I don't know. Let's see how far away can I bring it. No, maybe here. Okay, good. So you see the blue line there. So means that's the same Hele edition, but it's the digitalized version. So ta da di da. So it's here. Instead of D, actually, apparently there is a C sharp there, which actually the young cellists like Leonard Elschenbroich and some people who had access to the digitalized version, they did do this. So instead of, so if you play C sharp, the listeners will think, wow, this guy did really lots of research and analyzed the manuscripts. So yeah, extra points, yeah. Now, nobody knows, because, the Beethoven writing is crazy. So I know it's tricky to go into the details, but I think it's good to go out of our inner circle nutshell and try to experiment this new edition because it's Hele as well. So if you play this one, nobody can tell you, but it's the latest version. So it's like... And why it is important? Because you have tension and then relaxation. And by the way, I discussed with Finin, we are going to play this tomorrow night. So the next 4 bars, it's still piano dolce. There are no hairpins. You might have, of course, you have to follow a little bit the melodic line, but don't forget the dolce, piano dolce. That's the first thing. So I know Rostropovich, which we all love, and it's our god cellist. He did even quite a big one. But there are other cellists, even Misha Maisky, who didn't have access to this digitalized version, and who are playing very dolce. I mean, Misha Maisky, I'd recommend to listen because it's so poetic and every note says something. So can I hear just the piano dolce, these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bars until the question. So without the first bar, because this is where you show your, let's say, emotional side, yeah, but in a very fragile, delicate way. Good. Now, thank you very much. Here, by the way, I'm giving you lots of ideas, information, and usually different than yours. Because as I said in music, you play live. I'm not playing instead of you yourself, no, when you are on stage. So you have to feel comfortable, but it's good to have as much information as you could, and then you make up your own plan. So now that was a perfect rendition of the score. So you look, it's piano dolce, it's beautiful. Now you have to bring some enjoyment into the playing. So now, because we are restricted to the small dynamic piano and dolce especially, but we can make use of the speed of the bow. So even though we don't do too much shaping, but with the speed of the bow, we can create something even like here. So on the G, a little bit more speed, and then F sharp, there's still some tension in between the notes you can show. So again, with this passage, you'll have to experiment a lot because that's the beginning, and this is where you make a statement. And I'm sure you'll change several times the phrasing, but this is what I wanted to say, that you play perfectly now piano dolce. I like it. Just play with the speed of the bow. In other words, sometimes you use less hair, more hair, a little bit of pressure. And by the way, when we play piano or pianissimo, we don't necessarily have to play on the fingerboard. So we can play piano or pianissimo closer to the bridge. But again, it's up to you to experiment. It's tricky to do it on the spot, but try to experiment. The more tools you have on your bag, the better. Okay, good. So now we play one more time the beginning, and we'll focus on the next passage, starting bar 14. So now keep going a little bit more, and then I will stop you. Good. Okay, now let's focus on the next passage. Very quickly, have you got bar numbers?
Yeah.
Good. So we have this crescendo at the end of the phrase, bar 12 and 13, yes? So you have, yes? I mean, we always, as cellists, we love to give a big accent on the last note, which is totally wrong, but it's so good to do wrong things, especially on the cello, where nobody is dying. So as Anna Bisman said, you feel so good when you play an accent on the last note, which you are told all your life not to do. So it is a crescendo, and that's the most important note because it's at the end of a crescendo, it's true, but then there is this sforzando on bar 14. So we don't have to anticipate that sforzando. So we go... That's why sometimes I might play actually tomorrow the opposite, the boys. Just to open the phrase and then and that it will be like explosion. So in other words, just think it is a crescendo, it's the most important note out of the two bars, but put a line on top of this one. So don't give yet this accent and keep it for bar 14, because on bar 14 you have two accents actually, the first beat, which is always the most important beat of the bar, and then the surprise sforzando on the second beat. So you have to prepare for two accents. Pom, pa, da, 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 da. Yep. So let's play, that's fine, we don't have to do it, but just for you to know that, put a little bit of, like a nice line on the C. It's the loudest, but it's a nice loud. Let's go straight now from bar 14, if you don't mind, just for you to realize, pom, pom. Now, when I was your age, I did exactly the same. Very melodic, this one. But if you do this, what are you going to anticipate?
Say that again.
So on bar 21, you played a beautifully... I'm exaggerating, but you're spending a lot of... You're enjoying yourself a lot on the E. And so, in other words, you made the passage a little bit mellowy, anticipating the next tune. So you don't want, in Beethoven, usually it's more like abrupt, not so many bridges to connect. So it's just sudden movement. So I did the same thing when I was your age. But now you have two identical passages. And then more. Even tension. So there is no way to mellow this passage, because if you do, it's not like this. So there is no need to do so. And then in total contrast. So we have to make music interesting, no? And you are like an actor. You have to act. So an actor, what does, or actress does on stage, no? In a 2006. No, it's like, looks like an insect on stage. So it has to exaggerate, to do lots of mimic, everything. So it's the same we have to do with the instrument, yeah? So especially in Beethoven, we can stretch a little bit, forte a little bit louder, piano a little bit less, just go for extremes. So let's go. Part 19, and then we move up a next step, A sharp tension, big tension, and ta.
You go from on the first beat, right?
Good. Yeah, excellent. Now I'm telling to you exactly what I'm telling to myself when I practice. So this is just a way how I practice. I mean, I've been taught. I went to Russian school where, yeah, you know, second place was not good enough. So you always have to question yourself. But that's very good because you have more options. So you played very well. A sharp was a bit too long, and you tried to do a diminuendo on that one. But attention is attention. Yeah. So you have to keep the tension. So don't spend too much time on. because you keep, everyone is like this, what's going to happen? And then some cellists, they can take crazy time, 20 units slower here. I wouldn't recommend, but it's your own personal taste. But this is what I'm saying, tension, and I recommend you to watch Rostropovich, because the first bar you play exactly like him, but then the next bar should be even more. Just take courage, a big gesture. That's the only thing. I mean, it's just, you know, music, the difference between an ordinary cellist and a star cellist is just a hair, but it's a hair added to every single note you play. And at the end of the piece, it will be like Stephen Easterly's hair difference between us and some stars, yeah? But if you pay attention to every single note, we are there. It's just a matter of confidence. And okay, good. So let's go from bar 19, and then we keep going another 8 or 10 bars until I stop you. Good. Quickly here. How is the hard slurs in bar 22? And what information have you got in that Henley edition?
Well, in the edition I had like the first two quavers in the upbeat kind of tied, and then there's a caret over the...
It's like
yeah.
Okay, because you see that articulation comes on the piano as well. So I know there are lots of recordings when nobody pay attention to this, but it's like so again, articulation, and it's very because in a way, again, tension is A sharp, so that's very delicate, kind of Mozartian style, Haydn. So it's like 2 slurs and then a special note up. So that's the only thing. And now you play beautifully, by the way. I like it very much. It's just to think about. I don't have an answer, but usually when a composer writes trills, grace notes, all this stuff means that they want to emphasize those notes. It is piano, of course, so you cannot emphasize too much. You play beautifully melodic. Again, maybe you can take a little bit advantage to emphasize those grace notes with the bow, and not the grace notes, but so give a little bit of energy. So not louder, but and then you go. So that's the only thing. You can do it differently, but just a composer wouldn't just write grace notes or trills if they were not important. For how we do that, could be in piano, could be forte, character-wise, you decide. But just to have a thought, it's not a clear answer on this one. But I like it. It's because you are confident, and even, let's say, if from a musical logistic point of view was not perfect, I enjoyed it very much. So I leave it to you. So let's do one more time from here, and then we continue. Yes, exactly. Yeah. And by the way, you can take the whole time in the world. The pianist is waiting, he's not playing. Next time is different. But here you can take even a fraction. Only when you are ready, you start this one, because it's a contrast. Okay, let's. Beautiful. Good. I just have to stop. Very good. Now again, that was, by the way, perfect. So I'll buy that and I'll play it tomorrow. So yeah, thank you. Now it's very important, and that's tricky. We have to make a plan. What are the differences between sforzando, forte piano, sforzando piano, all these things? they should be obviously different because they were written in different ways, and Beethoven was very meticulous and about those accents. Yeah. So, I mean, sforzando, in a way, you just start on the. Doesn't matter if it's piano. You start immediately. I mean, not a crack because the critics say, but as quick as possible sforzando. Forte piano means like whoa. You wait heaviness, like it's forte and piano. And sometimes you'll notice that actually it's misunderstood. Sometimes forte piano refers to the whole bar. So it could be forte and the diminuendo to piano. But again, it depends on the personal taste. I give you options. I will go forte piano here, but not, I wouldn't play sforzando again. So I go, so maybe more heavy, mammoth. And then in contrast, the next passage. So that's the only thing, to make a plan and to show the differences, and you can do your way, but make sure they stick out. This is sforzando, this is forte piano, sforzandissimo, whatever, yeah? Okay, so we can start from, if you don't mind, part 25. Good. Now I'll give you a tip, but don't tell to anyone else, yeah? I know they are listening. No, so if you have forte piano, you can start non-vibrato the note, I mean the accent, to make it more obvious, and then vibrate a little bit on the softer beat. So, but and then it will stick out. That's an example, or how you can make the difference. Last sforzando, you can start from the very beginning vibrato, as simple as that. So if you just a fraction, you start the note non-vibrato, and then a little bit you add the vibrato, or you don't at all. But these are things you can look at your left hand as well to help the right hand. Obviously, the right hand is our voice. This is where you have to work the most. But sometimes you can do some little tricks. Okay, good. So let's do from here. Where you're right. Bar 29.
Sorry, Robert, just before you start, there's 10 minutes left in the lesson, just to let you both know.
Is it 10 Irish minutes?
10 past 10, the next lesson will start.
Okay, good. So let's keep going, yeah.
Sorry, you froze actually when you were saying where...
29, for bar 29. 29, yeah. Good. Now, few quick things. So I don't know again about your edition. So bar 37 and 38. How are the hairpins? Have you got any hairpins there?
Yeah.
Which way? So the first bar up and the second bar down?
Yeah. So it goes
Good. Because again, you might be only of the few cellists who are doing this, because it's great. So in other words, you have to do. Actually, here is a. So you have to go ti da da ti la da la ga da ga di ga dam. I mean, you don't have to, because you are not in school. It's just what is written in the part. Then your interpretation could be different. But if you can start with this one, so. Good. So that's one. And then just for your curiosity, if there is something like this, 44, the last note apparently was not an F sharp, which makes sense. Apparently it's an E. So that's the manuscript. For my ear, sounds much better F sharp, but actually tomorrow I'll play for the first time in my life as it is written in the new version. But again, you can look at it. Okay, good. Now going back, if you are, let's go straight to from the second time bar line. La da di da pam. Good. Okay, now, I mean, you play very well this one. I just, because there's lots of information which came out lately. So that's why I wanted to give it to you, because actually these are the only places. Now, just to compare two bars, there are no wrong notes, just the way you play them. So bar 60 and 59, you have sforzandi on every note. Bom, 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 bom. Yes? Yeah. No, that's good. But you know, two plus sforzandi in a row means a crescendo as well. Now, the way you approach those sforzandi, it sounded more or less the same. You approach bars 46 and 47 when there are no accents. So just make sure it's more like a brass. So make sure you on bar 46 you go. But tension given not by the accents, but just by sustaining the long notes. Compare with this one, where I didn't hear that bite enough. So this is very important. Now, talking about forte piano, because we have very little time, so I talk a little bit more just to make sure I bring you all the information. You know what Rostropovich did in a live broadcasted concert from Royal Albert Hall in London. I don't know how many people, 1,000 people in the hall, everything, just to change the color. And if he did it, why not us? But you don't have to do it, but he did it in slow motion. Wow. Because we are talking about development. What's happening in the development? Now the composer takes one or two tunes or the bridge melody and mix them up. In a way, you feel like you are lost in a forest. You hear beats and beats. Maybe like you are lost. It's dark in the forest and you lost the path. And sometimes, maybe this is the path. You find the way, but it's completely wrong. So in a way, it's all this scary kind of feeling. What's going to happen? So he decided to play open strings. You don't have to do open strings, but if you could play with your finger as if it was an open string, it would sound like a forte piano, yeah. So here, I think it's forte piano, it's more like a diminuendo. Good, so that's one. And now a very funny thing, bar 62, 3, 4, 64, when you have, yeah, you know, in the manuscript, apparently these are separate the first time. And only second time. And like this, you create two steps, because piano, it's not a soft dynamic, it's the dynamic we are talking to each other. So center C on the piano. From there we go. So la ka ta ta ta, and then here I trust, I might believe that the edition is right. This one, ta ka ta ka, separate bowings, because gives you a little bit of voice, and then the next time a little bit softer and slur. So just try this one. Again, you don't have to do, as there are millions of cellists playing still on Henle, which is the gods of the editions, but it's just 2008. So now 13 years old, and 13 years old looks, imagine what mobile you had in 13 years ago. So, okay, let's try just from here until they kick us out from the masterclass.
So just from the C major?
Yeah. Separate bowings, ta ti ta ta ta, and then you keep whatever bowings you do.
Yeah, good.
Good. Very good, very good, very good. Sound is excellent. Now, I do the same bowings, and these are the original ones, by the way, very good. Now, we have to retake the bow, yeah? So try to exercise to keep to come as quick as you can. So like a bow, you extend the bow and then go. And more important here, where is that one? By the way, I suggest to practice this one. Yeah, strong finger. I mean, sometimes you might go this, which is fine. Yeah, but the more you do this, you'll be secure. And now, so here you can take a little bit more time. It's more dramatic, but not before that. Try to work with this. That's the only tricky bit I would recommend. Here you can take good. That was very, very good. Now, just one more suggestion. When you have this from bar 68, this passage, which you did brilliantly, by the way, the grace note. Now, that's why I grew long hair like Steven Iserlis or Misha Maski, because we need our hair to support with the sforzandi. Otherwise, there will be no difference. We are already in a passage, so... But you have to use your body, yeah? Or anything, because we wouldn't hear. And I'll tell you an example. I went to a concert of Alban Berg Quartet, Kakushka, the violist, being one of our teachers. And we are sitting in London, I sing South Bank, in the last row, again, maybe 1,000 seats. And sounded amazing, the concert. And then I went to Kakushka, oh, fantastic. I can hear the viola and say, wow, I'm so glad to hear that, because actually I played at least 2 dynamics less than my colleagues the whole concert, because I got arthritis. So each time I was touching the fingers, it was very painful. But each time I had a solo or a moment, I used my body language instead of forcing the sound. And like this, I attracted the audience attention, focusing on me. And even though he was playing twice softer than the others, I was able, and we were able in the audience, to focus on his part. So I think body language is as important as technique. Of course, that's the last will come on the place, but sometimes we can help the music with our body language, especially on those for Sandy. Yeah, good. So if we still have a tiny bit of time, let's continue where we stopped. Good. And very, very briefly here, just some new information. So we have where you started, there is no dynamic written. So what I try to do, I try to play a little bit consistent. And I do an diminuendo. Why? Because in the original, in the new manuscript, there is written a crescendo in bar 95, and in bar 96 is written forte. So using logical deduction means that if I have forte bar 96, crescendo bar 95, I should be at least less than forte the previous bar. So, but so I can start maybe forte, confident. What's going to happen? Forte, and now the next bar, beats 3 and 4, is written a diminuendo, and we reach piano. So lots of information on such a short period. So forte, diminuendo. The opposite what we've done before that. So Beethoven plays with all those changes. So that's why I might trust this edition much more, because for me it sounds more like Beethoven. And Beethoven was questioning himself. He did millions of changes to this piece. So yeah, we never know, like in the Bach suites, let's say. But at least here, yeah, we know that, yeah, he did lots of changes himself after hearing. Good. And now the next thing is the same way. How do you play that one?
Oh, yeah, so...
Bar 98.
I was doing it just like I was doing it before.
Yeah. Again, it's the same pattern, of, like, because you have to look on the piano part. So you can do, or try to separate 2 plus 1. Because there is always the last note is the special note. We are talking the caret note.
Sorry to interrupt. The lesson is all over, and we're going to bring on Isaac next, so you can.
Good. Thank you very much. Good. Well done, Robert. So keep up the good practice.
Yeah, thanks, Vinny.
And good luck for the concert.
Yeah, you too.
Chamomile tea.
Now, Isaac, if you could unmute yourself and turn on your video. Thanks.
Hello.
How are you?
Alice. Good. How are you keeping? Where are you now?
I'm here in Limerick.
In Limerick.
Yeah.
In the big hall, of course. Now I recognize the place. I've done so many recordings in there. It's beautiful, bright. Yeah. Can I join you? Yeah, there is just.
Yeah, come on over.
Oh, yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. No. Okay. I just trying to find. I was just downloading last night. What edition do you use? I ask everyone. Yeah, it's a silly question nowadays.
I've got the Henley version.
And is the digital one? Which one?
It's the Henley Varlog one with David Goringis's edition.
Very good. But you don't have the digital version. Here is different than the Beethoven. Beethoven is crazy. I mean, Schumann, I think, is fine even on Peters. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah. No, it's just the standard Henley here on digital.
Good. Okay. Yeah. Good. So you've got David Geringa's edition. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Good. Because I also got Wolfgang Emanuel Smith. So maybe I'll look on this one just in case there's something interesting, like fingerings and bowings.
Oh, please.
To give you a different option. Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah.
But maybe you play so good that I don't have to say anything. So I just enjoy your performance. Okay. So which one would you like to start? Very beginning, no?
Might as well, yeah, with the beginning.
Good. Let's go for it. Good, and I hope you always have. Okay.
Oh.
Good. Well done. And I know how crazy it is. Okay.
Great, thanks for that.
Bravo. No, I know how crazy it is to play, first of all, without the piano, especially this piece, where you rely a lot on the, I mean, it's like a two-way system, but also to play live in front of Zoom. So you feel miserable, which is actually recommended. It's great for us to have no, but it's good. I mean, when I was a kid, I was always told, you wouldn't have money to buy an audience to play and feel like shit when you play in front of them, but this is what is needed. So you used to play in front of our colleagues, and our colleagues will make critics, will just analyze our playing. So this is, you feel really terrible, get me the hell out of here. But actually this helped a lot. So I usually don't let students to play so long. I stop after 2 notes and I say millions of things. But actually for this piece is very good to do. Now, you have a really nice, good technique, and you are quite kind of natural. I don't know, you'll feel your body, but what I'm saying. So you can do brilliant work on this piece. Where are you from, may I ask?
Los Angeles.
From Los Angeles, very good, yeah. No, because what I like, especially in this one, I heard lots of recordings of this one. I used to hate this piece, by the way, because I was playing the other 2 pieces of Schumann quite a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And this one was my rival for the student, playing this one. And she was always winning first prize, and I'll come second. So I used to hate not only her, but also the music she was playing. Anyway, I also loved both her and the music she was playing. So no, I'm joking. So now, but from the recordings I was listening, Capuçon, I like it the best with Martha Argerich. So it's bringing this kind of French, I mean, sometimes it's too much, but I love it from the beginning to the end, because you don't have to imitate. But what I like to create this kind of magic to this piece, because obviously you can play perfectly the notes, the dynamics. So, and we have this tune, and again, and again, and again. And if you think you heard it one too many times, it's again. So, and only if the end comes major so that maybe we can enjoy more this one. Now, I have some dynamics here, so you correct me if I'm wrong, but obviously at the beginning, you start in piano, no? That's how it is. And there is nothing until bar 10. Is it the same in your part?
Yes.
They have crescendo until when? And then there's no evidence how long go. And then you have when you have sforzando piano,
Yeah, 2 of them,
Yeah, exactly, So that's grand. So let's focus just this beginning to bar 25. So now let's try to say a story, meet humor, no? In a way, you can either make fun, because this is what is written, but make fun. Let's be a little bit, I cannot properly hear the sound, so it might be perfect. Sometimes the mic is too much, but let's try a little bit mellowy. So, and you can, for example, on bar 4, when you have this accent, so you can go for it, because that will be the humor. Because if you play a little bit more relaxed, I know you play the David Gehringer Stombo. It sounds a little bit more German. I love his playing, by the way, so I love to be able to play the same he does. But I don't know, for me, this, when you start sounds more, like more relaxed, lazy, and then this will stick out. So then you realize that you make fun, because should be mellowy, but not very sophisticated, because I'm exaggerating now, but in music, it's about exaggeration. And then you come back. I always tell to my students, I want, even if I don't believe in the ideas I'm telling you, I want to tell you a different idea that you are playing, because as an artist, you have to question yourself and to have at least 2 different versions, very good ones, of playing. So then you have to pick up at the day. So you pick consciously. Okay, I like this. You don't have to say just because, but you have to have at least 2 very solid ideas of playing. So can you try this time to make you feel uncomfortable, like driving on the other side of the road? If you start up bow, let's see. Good. Now, because it's always this question, who in music, when you have two repeated notes, two repeated phrases, two repeated patterns. Which one is more important? And usually in theory, the second one, because you repeat yourself. No, I want a glass of Guinness, but the pub is closed. So then you know, hey, I really want one. Now, this will be canceled by the crescendo you got on bar 9. So, because if we do, let's say, from bar 5 a little bit more than the first one, we anticipate the crescendo from bar 9. So this will tell us that maybe we can start a little bit more, and then the second phrase we go a little bit down. So in other words, you can take a little bit more time, bar 4, after the accent. I mean, not too much, but... And I say, I never play this piece. I'm learning this piece with you. Of course, I heard it millions of times, but this is how I do. I'm just showing you how I'll practice and I try to create magic, if it's possible. I cannot create magic, but at least, yeah, I'll try. So let's see. So a little bit, and then you do the crescendo. Good. And now, you see, our role as performer is to become detectives, to see what the hell the composer wanted to do with this. We say this, especially with contemporary music. Say, oh, what was it her mind? Why is that? And we don't know, but we try to create a pattern because, as I said, so bar 9, so we have crescendo. So obviously, easy steps. If it's crescendo, we have to be as soft as possible. And then the next bar, which is, so bar 9, 10, 11, 12, and that's one pattern. And then we go bar 13, repeating pattern, which usually it's louder, but actually it's crescendo. So we have to overdo it because, yeah, it's more than okay. And then we arrive at bar 17 in a crescendo. So then also it's important because we have, so that's the highest note, A. So that would be, let's say, the climax of this A part of the piece. And then you play a little bit softer here, but I want it to go more because it's like an arch. Actually, from bar 9 till bar 25, that's like a perfect musical arch. So there's no doubt about it. So because there is no crescendo written on bar 21. So if you take the first pattern from bar 9, crescendo, the next repeated pattern, it's written crescendo, but then there's nothing. So you assume the first pattern, which starts on bar 17, it's the loudest because you are on 2 big crescendo, but it's nothing written next one. Usually you'd repeat that, but because the first one, it's written crescendo on both patterns, you'll do less. And then all of a sudden it'll be, it will be like a shock, this one, yeah? So we have a perfect arch, bar 9 to 24, and then we have this mid-humor when we start maybe instead of piano, mezzo piano. This is my suggestion for today. Tomorrow might have a different suggestion. And then piano on bar 7. So like this, we have a plan, you know, like playing a football game. We all have a plan, so we are happy. We might lose the game, but at least we go positive on the pitch. Yes, we have a plan, and I know we can win. Then it's up to the pianist and to the venue and to our nerves. Okay, so let's do the whole phrase now after talking too much and see how it sounds like. And have fun, please. Have fun. Bring a smile on our face. Yes. suggestion. Could be also the same level forte or loud, and then you go. It's up to you. But I just now have an idea. So if you go if you do a diminuendo, do also a little return toti tom, because that's the end of the first tune, and then nobody knows what's going on, and then da da di da di da di da. Yeah, it's like box now. And by the way, I mean, how many pieces in the cello repertoire will have this written "play with humor"? As the humorous by Dvorak. So it's the same here, and coming from Schumann, that's rare. Yeah, so you wouldn't expect something humor from that. Good, that's brilliant. Have you seen by any chance the cellist Alban Gerhard?
Yes, absolutely.
So, you know, even he was making fun of himself that sometimes the way he moves is like a drunken sailor. Like, hey, hey, woo! By the way, there is a reason for that one. And another secret, don't tell anyone, and you don't have to pay me, just a glass of Guinness. Yeah. So actually, you know why he does this?
That's like developing a sound with contrary motion, or just keeping oxygen going in his body?
Very good, very good. But also that's a Yo-Yo Ma invention. So when you go down bow, you move like this because you save the bow. You have a longer bow. And he can play 2 minutes, you know, because if you play, you're right here, but if you move the cello, it's like the earth rotating, he said. Oh. So again, when you go up, so if you see me tomorrow night doing this, it's difficult that I'm running out of bow. So I have to move. So, but he does continuously. It's for him, it's like a habit now. Yeah, like it's not a bad habit. It's good. It's brilliant because he always have an extra inch of bow, badly needed. Yeah, but I don't want you to do this for the bow reason. In this piece, I want you to think of him. You don't have even to move, but just have him in mind, because sometimes I think of him when I have to play something funny, and it works. I don't know. Okay, let's move on. I know this is crazy to play on your own. I even don't ask you to play. I just want you to focus on the pianissimo, bar 33.
Yeah.
Because here you can be creative. The other one is just mechanical. The piano is playing, but you can create a magic word with the pianissimo. So you don't have to be so clear. That's good news. Bad news for your teacher. But you can finally give up. Like I always say, Anna Bilsman, we say, it's so good when you can do all the wrong possible things on the cello and to enjoy them. Because all your life you're told, beautiful sound, play closer to the bridge, very clear. But here, very muffled. Wow. And this will be, wow, this guy, it's magic. Yeah. You have a big fan club knocking on your door, the new Hauser. Yeah, I'm joking. No, better Hauser. So but actually, let's put it in the context. I don't care how it sounds, this rubbish passage, but I'm just focus on the pianissimo. So do whatever you want first. Are you the same cellist from 30 minutes ago? I mean, because you are like not like a professional, like a soloist. Brilliant. And it's great. I mean, I didn't know this is going to work because, as I said, I'm learning on the spot this piece with you. Yeah. Against my feelings. Yeah. I didn't win that competition because of this crazy piece played by my rival. Yeah. That's just playing amazingly. And you play even better now. Okay, good. So, and now the mezzo forte. And if you look at the beginning, it's piano. Mm-hmm. Maybe, again, I don't know. Usually, if there is no dynamic written on the crescendo, maybe that crescendo shouldn't be really too forte, but max mezzo piano, close to mezzo forte, you know, because here is, if you think as a detective, sometimes it doesn't work, you know, when you play in a big hall, so you raise the dynamic, you have to change. But here it's definitely mezzo forte. Have you got that one on your part?
Yes, absolutely.
Good. So here definitely should be so you have 3 things. You have piano at the beginning, you have here mezzo forte, and then you have something in between or something, but it's up to you if you play forte and then mezzo piano, but definitely those should be totally different. So I will just like a puzzle, take those elements and analyze on the microscope which one. And be creative. Have a glass of wine if you are over 18 and just go nuts. Close your eyes because you can perfect hear the sound. And it's very important because otherwise it's the same. Sometimes in Beethoven, you have repetitive passages, but for a good reason. You can play even half minute, taka, 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 and then poof, explosion. Yeah. But here, humor, you have to make fun of the audience first. Yeah. Okay, so let's start directly from here. So mezzo forte. Yes, very good. So this is what I wanted to say. I lied it away. I say I didn't play after I heard that lady playing the competition. I had one too many glasses, so I practiced that night that piece, and a friend of mine recorded me on an audio tape cassette. Yeah. And I was doing exactly what you did, something taking too much time, making crazy. Say, she should have played. That was exaggeration, yeah. But you can bring one exaggeration. You are allowed. You got allowance, yeah. Not to kill, but to play something crazy, yeah, like you did here. From a classical work. But I much enjoyed that one. You see, I had so much fun. I was almost laughing. So, but for a good reason, I was not laughing at mistakes. Yeah, good. So let's keep going. Now that's the new question because that's crazy. But it's Schumann, and we all know about Schumann's life. And so because you have mezzo forte for what 8-bar phrase or even more, and then crescendo for 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and we arrive at forte. That's ridiculous. Yeah. And it's romantic music. And you have to play with humor. So I don't know. Do you think there are no robots there? Because nowadays you can say, okay, I play like a robot for the next 8 pages. But you have to somehow to create. You can either go like ridiculous, kind of Stravinsky, making totally like a clown somehow, or do you, I don't know, try to be creative. Kakushka, the violist from the Alban Berg Quartet, he said that he studied how to become a clown. And he'll do this, all this caricature. And he said that this will help him a lot in music, yeah. Because the clown is a sad guy and always analyzing, is it behind the face? But maybe that's the space, yeah. Maybe you listen some Stravinsky and get some ideas. You can bring some contemporary, technique on this one. But I think time can move and go. For pianist, I don't want to think about, what is going to do. But you have fun. You are teasing the pianist. So let's continue from here. So let's see how you can build up this crazy long crescendo.
Yeah, let's find out.
Good. Now, you see, now I'm just thinking at this one, which is very silly. Nobody practiced this as a cellist. After you have millions of notes, pom, 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 pom. Try to have an image. It's like a horn, pom, 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 or whatever, something, because it sounds too easy. If I play in a pub for my friends making fun, this could work as well, but I do it because I want to. Woo! Yeah, it's good. Now, forte piano, I was telling to your fellow cellist, previous guy, you can take it forte piano, like loud, soft, but also you can take the full bar, like forte piano. Don't know the answer. I'm just giving you a few options.
Yeah.
If it's too much like this, sounds more like a sforzando. Definitely should be a kind of heaviness, but it's not. Sforzando should be like an arrow, like and I would play like this if there is nothing written. If there is no forte piano, this is how I play. I play string quartets a lot. So for 25 years. So I'm fed up with this kind of phrase always. And another one. So sometimes, otherwise I'll get bored after 25 years. So I try to do or I don't know, anything. Just try. I mean, don't let just a silly passage take over, yeah? Because it's for the, I don't know what the piano. Maybe you react to the piano or something, but try forte piano, because at the moment you have this spark, pam pam. Try the opposite, pam pam pam. Maybe there's the serious part finally, like the priest, po 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 po, and then you are a teenager.
Yeah.
Get me the hell out of here, yeah. So, but just, okay, don't do everything. Just maybe start bar 73 and then go into the next passage to see the differences. Good, yeah. Good. Here it's just really, I know it's tricky passage. I even don't know this passage. I play any other notes but do. So just really go for it. I mean, don't look scared. It's just angry. So, I mean, you can be scared as well, trying to play all the notes, but look more. Now, I'm not sure, you have to work out. We didn't spend too much time today, but the 8th note. It sounds more classical, like Mozart. I would practice maybe, I don't know if I play like this in the concert. The cello might not respond. I don't have a Stradivari after I broke one, so I just play an ordinary contemporary cello. But I put lines, ta, pa, 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 pi, pa, pa, just for fun, to try something opposite. Okay, good. I'd love, don't want to waste the whole time. Maybe let's go to the very last few bars, because I want to hear something lyric from you for the next piece as well.
Of course.
Yeah, but let's go just the crazy passage also at the end, and try and something, a different approach. Let's see. I wouldn't say anything. Maybe if you go from bar last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bars, please.
In the lesson. Perfect.
Now, it reminds me of Tchaikovsky, but when you have millions of notes and in the orchestra, so nobody can play them in the orchestra. But we, so at the timpani, yeah. So I missed the explosion at the end. So 2 things. You have first forte piano, and I envy you because you don't have a wolf on the E. And I got one recently. I don't know how to get rid for tomorrow. It's just, and there's no maker working to stick a, anyway, that's my problem. And then, but don't forget forte piano. Again, it's not like, I have to play first position because of the wolf. So to equal forte piano, they are equal notes, but the second E could be softer than the first one. So, and now that should be exactly the same like the first one, but this could be pianissimo. And then I don't know about this one. I mean, it should be like an explosion, anything, because that's the fun. I mean, everyone will expect, if it is not mit humor, but being humor, you just go pam. It's easy to say, but you can practice later. But you don't have to play now. But just think about, I mean, like a big end, pam pam,
Yeah.
bim pam tango, even though you give a big accent at the end. Okay, let's go to the next movement. That's brilliant. Beautiful. Great. That's the first phrase. So the most tricky bit, da da da, perfect. I'll buy that one and use it. But you miss something easier, but it's fine. That's normal. Because all this piece, the shape is again, it's a round shape. It's beautiful, by the way, da 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 da, and you can play this very, very nice. And you did, and the pianissimo was great, and everything. It's just they say the shape when you reach, like in a carousel, the peak is this one, or and you did this. No, I mean technically speaking, it was fine. It's just that that's the only place you've got hairpins. Yes.
Yeah.
And since a kid, I was always told, very important, the fast notes. So play slow the fast notes. I mean, of course, as slow as you can in tempo. So that was the idea. La ti ta ta. So make every note ta di ta ya ta ta. If there was no hairpins, fine. It's just perfect. But actually, he wanted to have the most expressive passage, this one, because the E is the tension. If you go 4 bars after that, so that's relaxation. So you did great, but I missed the tension. So you did fantastic. That was perfect. It's just you need that to bring in the tension, or a little bit E, even though, and you have to tension. Just do something. That's the only thing, yeah?
Yeah.
And one more thing, because if they stop, I want you to say everything. Yeah. On the piano, was very good, but just, you can change bowings. You can play one note and one bow is fine. Just try to really when you change the bow, to be very careful not to hear gaps. I mean, I'm sure you heard this millions of times. I heard this from my colleagues for 25 years now in the string quartet. They don't. So there are different techniques. I mean, of course, you don't have to overdo it. 8 shape, even like move as quick as. And one more thing. Okay, let's go with the pianissimo passage one at a time. So let's go pianissimo passage and build up the little bit very expressive. Good, very good. That's brilliant. Sorry, I'm silly to stop in the middle. It's just we are under pressure. Good. And now, so E, if you can vibrate a little bit, perfect. And now let's do just the piano beat. The first 2, 4, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, 7. The first 7 bars. Yeah.
First 7 bars. Okay.
Good. And just a suggestion. Actually, that was much better this time when you play, because there is a slur. You can change the voice. La da da. Of course, there is a round shape, but always the first note of the slur is more important than the other. So la da da ya ti, because they have tension. So tension. You have to start tension a little bit louder, and that's relaxation. But now, this is the bar 3rd I want to talk to you, because we have the grace note. Each time a composer adds a grace note or a trill, means that you have to emphasize that note. So usually you wouldn't do that because it's under the slur. But here you have to do. So after you do or whatever, that's the only thing. And could you just have the beginning of the flats beat? Good. Just okay. somehow to change the color here, obviously, because it's
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you have any color in mind or anything?
I'm wondering about, because the opening, it's this beautiful F minor.
Yeah.
It's very lush, so if anything, the first one can be more kind of classical, maybe.
Yes.
'Cause it
Good.
goes back.
So I think, yeah. I think the keys on the second bar, 24, when again you have a clash. Yeah. So you do the first two bars the way you did it, but maybe a little bit non-vibrato there, just to check, not for the final performance, but now for today on the second bar, on the 24.
So that's...
And then again. Exactly, because like this, you have non-vibrato the first F, and everybody will expect the same thing because it's just a repeated pattern. But actually, you emphasize that note. So these little things will work. Okay, let's keep going.
Sorry to interrupt. We only have a minute
sorry.
left. Sorry, just 1 minute left. So
Okay, good. Just give me the last these 4 bars from 29, if you could, before we finish. Good. And here it's and you see the difference from the beginning when you have plain, just a nice round, but very easy. And here you have the hairpins. Yeah. So these little details, if you look into it, because you have the abilities, both right and left hand, you have a natural way of playing, which is nice. It's just to go a little bit more deep into this. But when I say deep, it's not very academic, but also to bring this spark, fun of a teenager, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's for me. I mean, this piece, I think, should be played by a teenager, but with a little bit of knowledge gained from the master. Yeah. I'm not a master. Whoever is your master could be even someone you listen online. Yeah, there's nothing. But this is something like you talk to an uncle and you are the teenager. So you combine somehow both because you are the storyteller. So It's a story from a teenager point of view, but you bring in your uncle or grandparents or something like this, and you still have this youth. Good. So I think we are done for today. Well done, brilliant. So good to see that you are in Limerick. Yeah, not so far away. Yeah, 1 hour from me. Yeah,
of
brilliant.
course. Thank you so much.
Let's keep in touch. Take care.
Of course. All right. Take care.
Bravo.
Thanks so much. Zoe, I'll ask you to unmute yourself and to turn on your camera. So Zoe is next.
Yes. Hello.
Hi.
How are you, Zoe?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Wow, what a bright room there. Where are you now?
I'm in Munich at the moment, so we're lucky with some good weather.
Ah, excellent. And I hope the door is locked, yeah? The neighbors wouldn't.
There might be some trombone players next door, but
trombone. There was a film when I was young, even the trombone, a trombone player can make music. That was the title, yeah. Oh, no offense, yeah. Good, so are you coming home soon or will you stay for a while?
No, I actually think I'll be here for a while, probably until the summer. I was at home in Cork for a while since Christmas, but
and you already lost your accent. Amazing, yeah. I shall put you in touch with my brother. Yeah, he leads one of the orchestras close to Munich. Yeah, so yeah.
Oh, really? Oh, which one?
No, but he's too crazy, so I wouldn't. Yeah, but yeah, anyway. No. But no, I'll give you anyway his number just in case if you need anything. Good. So tell me, so you have Brahms, no, for today?
Brahms, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, usually I always use Henle everything. I was just talking to the other colleagues. Yeah, very meticulous about notes. But fun enough, when I play Brahms, I go to my 90s, 80s edition. So anyway, we'll see.
Okay. I'm playing with Henley today, so.
Okay, very good. So actually very good, because I want to give you a different perspective of the piece. So if you use Henley, I wouldn't go into the Henley. It's good for you to get different ideas. I always say it's good to accumulate as many tools as you could, and then by the end of the day you decide which one. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Or shall I speak in Irish?
No, I can hear, I can hear you perfectly.
I wish, though I'm not good. Yeah. Okay, good. So just checking a little bit the tuning, just to see how is the balance. If you don't mind, give me your A, D, G, and C, please. Good. Good. So have you got a good mic, or is a very resonant room there?
Unfortunately, I don't have an external mic. It's just my laptop.
Okay, good. It's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Grand. Okay, so off we go. Let's see. Yeah. Good. Great. Hey, sounds really nice. Yeah, it's excellent. And yeah, I like your right hand and really nice. Yeah, nice intonation, phrasing. It's good. We can work on a few little details. Yeah, and I'll try, as I said, yeah, to give you a different perspective. It doesn't mean necessarily that it's better or worse. It's just for you to see, you know, like they say, when you practice in front of a mirror, for example, to look. But apparently we need to have two mirrors, like 90 degrees set up like this in front of us to have a perfect view and perspective of our hands, because if it's only dimensional, we wouldn't be able exactly to see the angle. So it's the same when we are trying to find a way of analyzing the music. We always need two mirrors, let's say, put it this way. So two solid ideas, ideally different, totally opposite, and then we can go to the middle. Grant, the thing is, the hall you are playing, the room, it's very boomy. So in other words, wherever you play on the C, G, D sounds the same, which is great. But unfortunately, I mean, I'd love if all the venues will be like this, but that's not the reality. So that's why either I play with this one, you know, so then it will sound like terrible sound, but that's I can give you a clear idea. But also I learned that I mean, my colleague in string quartet, Bogdan, he always used earplugs, and I used to make fun of him and to laugh even in the concert. But then I learned that but maybe 2, 3, very few, but 2, 3 great stars, and in cello, Alban Gerhard as well, he practice and plays in concert with earplugs. Why? Because it's very muffled, and then he can, it will sound the same if you practice in the room, if you play in a church, on the street, or with a big orchestra. So you have a clear view. Like this, when you practice in that room, obviously the tendency is to raise a little bit the bow, because you don't have to force too much, and
Yeah.
also the use of the vibrato could be random because it sounds beautiful. Yeah. So I like you to try. Did you ever try to play the beginning to go top on the C string? Because you see, there's you have obviously on bar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You go up on the D on the G string. You went up, which is very nice. That's a color. But then it would be nice to have another color at the beginning, darker. Or whatever. Or you see, if you started this in Brahms, and I know also in his string quartets, when the viola comes and it plays on the big solos on one string up there, you know, it's like in a choir when the mezzos are asked to sing above sopranos.
Yeah.
So, or they play in unison, but actually the color, the mezzos they make is just, wow, so dramatic, beautiful, dark, more interesting. You don't have to do this if you don't feel comfortable on stage, but I like you to try this in practice.
Yeah.
Good. And I have to ask on bar 3, this passage, how is on Henley edition? I'm talking about those notes.
So it's.
Have you got?
It's actually staccato marked and then slurred beneath.
Aha, good. I missed that one. It's really like a male choir, yeah. So like lower Russian. I mean, when I hear this beginning, I feel like the earth starts trembling. I mean, something really deep, beautiful, emotional, but it's under control, or maybe there's not enough force to express yourself. This kind of feeling I have. And like fingerings, you have few options. I don't know how, I can't see how tall or are your fingers. So 1, 2, 3. I mean, there are some cellists, they do this, but whatever you do, it's fine. Even 1, 3, 4, if you have a stronger. But you have to, you know, come up a little bit with your arm here just to make sure. But you have a long arm, amazing, yeah. So you have longer than mine, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, let's try to do this. But very important, this this tension. So I have to emphasize a little bit. And again. No, I know it's true. Good. And you know, now, of course, for this room you are playing in, that's too boomy, too much, it's piano. But again, better to try in different dry places, because I did the same mistake, but I played this millions of times. So unfortunately, in the big halls, you really have to press. So try to learn how to play, let's like a general rule for all the cellists. The piano usually and the soft dynamics, you go on the bridge, but try to find a point closer to the bridge where we can play pianissimo or piano dynamics. And don't think about this room you are playing. So use earplugs or headphones or anything, but don't listen to any other music. Yeah, just and try to create this dark sound. Of course, you can try sometimes soft, sometimes loud, but try, you know, this like someone is pushing, but pushing like a baby, because it's not, it's one way down, but gentle. But yeah, let's try one more time. I mean, I practiced this beginning like millions of times, and there's no answer to it. You have to make it your own. Good. Now, talking about colors in music, Another suggestion, but I like the way you play as well. Yeah, I don't know, maybe it is old style or something, but even nowadays, if not vibrato, I don't think because that's the tension. Now we have the F sharp. I'm not the tension, but yeah, it's the seventh. But I wouldn't use the soft harmonic, nice sound. I go for a darker, closer to the bridge. And then finally we go to dolce. So don't forget that you have piano espressivo at the beginning, no? And it's more legato, this, that, and then a piano dolce. That's when the soprano comes in, or I don't know. So let's do just the one. What about this one on the Henley? Are there anything written on top of the notes, or just a slur?
It's same again, staccato.
I mean, even on, I mean, you know, the use of Brahms vibrato on the second sonata and all this stuff. So try to make more use of the bow. How much? Again, it's personal taste, you know, but definitely it should be. You usually would play the bass F sharp if there is no information, less. But because you are under crescendo, you emphasize also. And now you created a nice arch and like a storyteller. So after that, say, oh, you are too good, next. So if someone is listening to you, this kind of feeling. So say, from the beginning. So let's do just this one. I mean, there's lots of information. You don't have, of course, to do it on the spot. Just you, when you practice, just think about all those teeny tiny details, which actually makes music greater or closer to his wish. And then you keep going. So now we just play once, and then we go to the next phrase, and we stop and we talk about that one as well.
So just from the beginning?
Yes, please. Yeah, just to put it in the context, the piano dolce. Good. Yeah. No, it's just keep going. Yeah, keep going. Good. It's fine. Yeah. Zoe. Scrant, perfect. Good. Just one more little information about the first bars, the introduction. But actually, that's like a general rule. Always try to see the differences between the tension and the release note. We don't have to overdo it, just like a bad habit. But obviously, that's why they are called tension, like major sevenths and then the release. So you cannot use the same type of vibrato. And for me, a tension is like you put powder on something really ugly. I know there is the aesthetic of the ugliness, but it's tension and release. It's not rocket science. And but I'm amazed, because I didn't think of this. Also, when I was a student, I was okay. I can vibrate with the second and the first figure. I use them, whatever notes they just vibrate. But just try to be more conscious in your play, because you play beautifully. So it's just a small step to make it to the next level, and just because maybe you don't have even to do anything for the vibrato, just because you know that there is the tension and that's the release. Somehow the brain works in a funny way. We'll coordinate our fingers or to do something, Okay, Grant. Now the beginning for me is like liquid gold. Or something velvety color. I mean, you can create your own, but this is very fragile. For me, it's like the Maiden, from the Death and the Maiden, the next one, and it's the piano dolce. So I know it's A string, and on the A string, I know you always have otherwise sounds really, but I think with the speed, if you use only one hair, and I mean, if you have to change the bows, why not? I mean, of course, you have to find somewhere where the string will sound fully, but not more. Don't use more hair unnecessarily. So, okay, that's too much. Okay, it's coming. Okay, what if I can? And if you see, I don't know, even Rostropovich sometimes has this hysterical kind of vibrato. I mean, you see just the wave. You don't see the finger. It's like shh. Yeah. But actually, it's funny on the recording. Sounds like, but on a big hall, if you go into Albert Hall, you wouldn't notice. You just hear something very delicate because he knows how to work with the hall. We hear, so in a way, this type of very, and then of course you have the crescendo, and then you arrive on the top C, and then you go for it. But just the beginning to make it this dolce, kind of very fragile. I'm afraid not to. So let's start straight this because you finish you, and then in total contrast you move from the C string to the A.
Mm-hmm. Should I do that?
Yeah, just with the ending or whatever. Because you see, very good. Sometimes I stop my students just to tell them how well they played, because sometimes they don't realize. So it's the same thing. If you don't realize your mistake, it's the same worst if you don't realize what you did good, because I want you to repeat. So the first time you play, you didn't ta 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 ta, you didn't sing those notes. And now you did it in a very natural way, like I was telling you. And I don't have any powerful mind to go into your brain, but you did very well. So just do that, because ta-ti-ta, and you see, it's just the simple example. When you play what's written in your part, sounds perfect. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So one more time from the piano dolce straight, and then you can keep going a little bit to forte. Good. Sorry, thank you. Brilliant. Usually I'm not mad about bowings in general if we keep the articulation written. So, but in this case, you change one bow, which is a bit funny. So this one, the very last one, just to get a little bit more ta ta ta. Was it consciously or unconsciously?
So that's actually printed. So
that's printed. But have you got on all 3 notes, the 8 notes, a line or something, or?
There's actually no articulation marked on them. They're all marked to be bold.
Oh, so, but okay, good. So there's no articulation on any of the 3 notes.
No.
The ending. Okay, good. Okay, so but for me there are 3 patterns. Okay, so now let's change the bowings, but let's keep, because the pattern is the same. Like we practice. It's not rocket science, yeah? So if you change the bowings, don't, because this is what is written, don't, because you change the bow, it will be heard that it's changed. But I heard more like a... So I feel that you started too soon the crescendo. Usually when it's written a crescendo, means that you are the softest there. Mm-hmm. And because I was wondering to know where are you going with this one. But actually, about bowings, I wanted to say forte, you have to keep forte for 2 bars and 1 note.
Yeah.
Now this bowing, there was always a diminuendo. So when you attack this was in diminuendo. So that's an example where you can change the bow here if you feel like because actually the crescendo and the forte goes towards the first note where it's written diminuendo. So it's of course it's so the third C is the most important because they are in a row and it's written crescendo. But then more than that, the melody continues to the last E. Why? Because you have a so let's go from here. I'd like you to start a little bit softer because don't remember the dynamic you are in here is piano dolce. So you do the hairpins, but here you arrive back in the piano dolce dynamic. So you are a little bit of kind of, I mean, again, maybe it's the room, but so that should be fragile as well. And now the development of this motif. And then you can make a big thing and then and then the piano goes and then you arrive in a piano without any information. So let's build up because that's another tricky one to put it together. So straight from E, tenor clef, if you go from here. Yes. Keep going. Thank you. That's great. Yeah, just like a right arm technique, because obviously when you are here, if you go, it will sound out of the context. Yeah, so make sure you loosen a little bit. So use more speed, less pressure. At least for the first half of the bow, and then you can go. It was a little bit out of the context, but other than that, the shape was perfect. Yeah. Now, just tell me on the Henley edition, dynamic-wise, starting with, have you got figure 1 or no? When you have this piano. So the diminuendo, where do you have to arrive? Is it piano?
Yeah. So the diminuendo finishes on piano.
Okay. And what's the story for the next 8 bars in your part?
From here, starting at piano, it's piano for 3 bars, and then
yes, hairpins.
At the triplets, there are hairpins.
Yeah, but then again, piano the next part, no?
There's nothing actually marked.
So, do you mean you come back to the piano? No, because that's a mistake I did a lot of time, and in the concert. I just, what the hell with piano? I just show off, yeah, I just go. But actually, if you look at it, and you got a crescendo there, no? The next ta 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 ti ti ti, and it's arriving on forte, no?
Yeah.
Okay, the mistake we all do is that we start forte. Yeah. So where do we go? We make it hysterical. Oh! But it's not brass anymore. I know we feel like any cellist or any soloist when they reach a C string. I mean, that's our lowest string. We have to emphasize that one. But actually, if you look at the music, yeah, it's and then there are a few steps we have to follow. So, in other words, like in a marathon, we start to run from the first 100 meters, like in 10 seconds. Then we are going to run out of breath. Yeah, and actually, it's not a big deal, but it's beautiful if it's not as loud. we go into this, yeah? So just look into the future and start slowly but surely, yeah? So let's go the whole passage, the piano. La, da, da, di. Good. Now, don't worry. I mean, shifts. It's like a nightmare for any cellist. August Popovic, Pablo Casals, Pablo Hernandez, Alban Gerhardt, you name it. Yeah. They all freak out having this kind of heart attack like feeling. There's no way. So for me, I mean, of course, when you have a name, you don't want to do lots of things. But what I'm saying, when you are at the beginning, don't be afraid. I mean, even if you drop your finger on that, everyone will forget. I mean, you are young, so there's no drama. So if you fail, let's fail in style. So that's for me, because that's for the audience. I mean, it's like in sports, it's more appreciated if you go for it than, I mean, I heard so many of my teachers, I wouldn't say name, playing in concerts, when they go there, come on. I mean, if after millions of concerts, they still do that, what are our chances? Yeah. So just, even if you don't care, just I know it's easy when you are at home and when you are in front of the audience, millions of people watching you, things, but at least get the musical feeling. Just think of the music, because okay, but I think something else I wanted to say, not this one. So when you have the hairpins, so the hairpins goes towards B again. So we start soft. So it's normal again, and retention. And really, so it starts. And you are already playing a little bit softer on the B, yeah, which is the tension here. So make sure you emphasize a bit this one, yeah. Otherwise, that was perfect. I will buy that. Perfect. And now take time. You can take the whole time in the world. Even like this. Once you reach that, then you go. It's. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but you can wait after you did this on. And I don't know what fingers to play, but. You can wait. I mean, picture this one. Maybe you have to. We'll work our life, but just take time. Don't rush into it, because if you rush, it's 50-50 chances. But that's the climax of this passage. So you got an allowance. You are like in a carousel. You arrive, and then you go back. Yeah. So you can take time, but then you bring it back after that. Yeah. So confidence, because I think that's the only thing. Yeah. No, it's true. That's why Sharon was having 20 pints of vodka or something. Yeah. So this. No, I mean, I don't encourage you, by the way. No, water is much better. Yeah. So let's go. So let's go from here. The first one.
I'm sorry, Zoe, not to interrupt. Just there's 10 minutes left in the lesson. So
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you. Yes. Beautiful passage. Good. Now, just a few little things. So we arrive here at the Golden Liquid passage. Really enjoying it. It's just something, surreal. Yeah, amazing. Now, when I suggested at the beginning to play harmonic, only if you do that. If you play harmonic there, definitely have to play harmonic here. It's the same. same passage. If you don't play the harmonic, perfect. Yeah. So just to keep the same pattern is very important. Yeah. It's like in Bach music. Once you use the pattern, you use it the whole way through. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You don't have to use harmonic, but if you use it once, use it all the way round.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Just for this one, because you all already brought this color at the very beginning. So
Yeah.
being the same pattern, the same passage, it's important. Okay, now I think that was basically the only thing. Let's continue. If okay, sorry if I stop you again. Don't forget. I know it's nothing written, but you have a crescendo, no?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you have forte. And again, so just go back to this fragile maiden from Death and the Maiden character here. Yeah. So always two characters. Yeah.
Yeah.
Two in one.
Sorry.
Good. And very good. Again, that's a long passage, no? From yes. So of course we have somehow to shape. So of course you start for the. So at least we have two waves. Ta 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 ti ta ta. Yeah. So in other words, maybe the bar before or the other way. So you have two steps. Otherwise, you keep like always. Yeah. So I did the same mistake. I don't want you to do the same mistake. And the people say. I can't tell you what they told me, but anyway. So it's just very da da ti da da, and let's keep going now because that's just a little detail, so we can play it very pa 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 pam. Let's go on with the next beat. Very good. Now that's a new element. You hear all the time. You play beautifully that one, and fantastic, loud and mellowy. But I'll go for a bit more for the bike, not literally, but articulation. Pa on the piano, I would go to lose too much time. I have the piano here. Pa dam, pa da. Just think of the pianist, how the way they play. So hey, pa di da dam, and they go pa di da yam. So try to go to find beats where you can move. It's like a C, no? Irish C, not quite to be, but something, yeah. So and then that's you did perfectly. You took a tiny bit of time, it was just perfect. And then you have you went too fast. Each time you see an ornament or a trill, that's the composer wish to emphasize that note.
Yeah.
So otherwise he'll turn around in his grave. Yeah. So we have to obey. We don't want to have nightmares. Yeah. That's just we want a good night's sleep. Yeah. So just play with those things. So I know it's written forte, but it's forte for how many bars we have to do. Ba-dam, introduce the new element. Wow, more. I don't know. The romantic character going to ta-dim, ba-di-da-dim, and then ta-di-da-di-da-ya-da-da-da-da-di-di, ta-da-da-da-di-da. You combine also this romantic character going to wow. word, liberate the word for royalties, anything, just freedom with this golden liquid. Always two characters in one. So let's do one more time this one. Hopefully we have time to finish. Yes! And you know, in music, we always have to be like detectives. We don't know at all what was in the composer's mind. It doesn't matter how much you read. I mean, I recommend to do that and to general context. So we have to work here. After it, that was big, no? A little bit less, because then you have this ornament when you have to emphasize. Because if you keep this tension, we make a little bit too much rough sound on this one. I'm exaggerating now, playing like an old granny, yeah. But just to go the opposite. Okay, so let's just play one more time, and then yeah, all those details. Good. And just for the sake, I know in concerts you can do, I mean, I've seen lots of, even including Rostropovich, but obviously he can do jumps. Just practice now, because you'll never practice in 10, 20 years time. I can tell you, when you have kids, family play dates for the kids and everything, to practice those, but just go for the big jumps now. I mean, now that's the time to... Wow, the whole world is yours. Yeah, the Republic of Cork. Yes, freedom. So you just go for it. Yeah. So we say go for the kill. I always say, we are not robots. We are not machines. It's not a matter if we do mistakes. It's when. And they are always different. No matter how well prepared, even something silly on the first position happens. So make it, always is going to happen. Richter, Rostropovich, Pablo Casas drop his bow in the audience. So this, no, we don't have to be scared, yeah. So, yeah. But if we, let's say, if we fail, but it's not failing, yeah. Let's fail in style, yeah. So it's just, and we can do this. We cannot do it in real life because we become suicidal. But in music, we can go, yeah. I mean, it happened to me even, I can't remember, just a few years ago. A finger. The concert was amazing, by the way, and I wouldn't say about any of my projects. It was spotless, amazing. Everyone remembers the drop of this one. So what? Yeah. So it's just I laugh at it. So, but it happened to many. But at least you go, and it was a big bang because I have strong fingers. Yeah. So can be heard from. So let's do just one more time this one, and then try to ta yada. Good. And do you have maybe just one? Give me just this this passage a little bit before the first time bar, and then I are okay, done for today. Good. And quick two questions. Have you got in Henle written espressivo on the first one?
Yes.
And is it dolce on the second one? Yes. And it's the opposite, because on dolce you've got hairpins and in espressivo is nothing, yeah? So again, just try to play with them. Don't play the same. I wouldn't say, but it's of course, the old style Pablo Casas, they go for a big gliss, like, wow. We don't have to do this. I don't know. this can be changed in any concert on the moment. But just you to be conscious, espressivo, dolce, the two main characters you've been working with the whole exposition of the piece. Yeah, the two characters. I mean, there's always two, if not more. Yeah, or if not the same character, change in different types. Or if you go Schumann, yeah, with multiple. That's great. But that's the only thing, the details. And the details, there's just, I was telling to the other colleague, was the difference between you and, I don't know, Jacqueline Dupre, it's a hair. But teeny tiny, not Stephen Risserdi's hair, but it's just tiny, but on every single note, you know? Mm-hmm. And at the end, there's, of course, yeah, a huge difference, but we are all so close to it. So it's just, if we push ourselves, don't let it play. Use more the music. I tell you this because I do the same. 9 hours a day, Russian, old school. Of course, I didn't have time to analyze too much. I did what I was told. And then when I went abroad, I changed my mind. But we all go to those mistakes. But that's why each generation is better than the others, because they don't repeat the same mistakes we did.
Okay, yeah.
Good. Anyway, so enjoy. What can I say? I mean, Munich is, I love Munich, and go out with beer gardens and all this, but I'm afraid, yeah, we have to leave it for that.
Moment.
Good. I'll keep up the good work. I mean, I've seen a lot of progress. I mean, since I heard you just vaguely last time, it's just an impressive progress. So yeah, keep up the good work.
Thanks so much. That was really helpful. Thank you, Adrian.
Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Louie. Adrian, if you could unmute yourself now, that'd be great. Thanks. And turn on your video.
Hello.
Hello. Limerick again. I hope you did spray the chair and open the windows.
Of course, yeah.
No. It's a big hole. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you are young and restless. No problem. Yeah. This virus goes to other people, not to.
Hopefully. Yeah.
I mean, you never know. So you study Limerick. Great. Yeah.
Yeah.
And where are you from?
Croatia.
So you say Adrian or Adrian?
Adrian, yeah.
Oh, so I'm Adrian as well, but after 25 years, someone is calling me Adrian, I wouldn't answer because I love.
Yeah, I see. Well, I'm used to both.
Croatia.
Agents.
So you didn't like the weather in Croatia, no? You came to Ireland, just for a change.
Yeah, Irish weather.
Yes? Because you don't have to use an umbrella, yeah. It's too windy. Yeah. So I've seen here you have, lots of pieces on the repertoire. D major concerto. Actually, that's one we all have to play every day. Yeah. So Haydn. No, it will stay with you all life. So Haydn. And Dvorak the same. But Haydn D major. It's even more important. Yeah, to have it. All the auditions, all the competitions. Dvorak, of course, the same. But I think in Haydn you learn a lot. And so you tell me, which one would you like to start with?
Well, I'd like to do Haydn.
Okay, now let's see. I can't remember because I lost my. What edition have you used for the Haydn?
Handler by Ginsberg edition.
Okay, good. So then I wouldn't use that one. I use Schott then, which is and what is it? The Jean John or what do they say there?
Rainer Ginzel.
Okay, good. So I use because I have that on the iPad. But as I said to your colleagues, it's good if you have two different ideas, just for you to be able to. Because I mean, as an artist, you have to have at least 2, 3, not plan A and B, but options, solid options. And you can change depending on the whole venue, mood, everything. So then you can pick up. So we cannot stick with one idea all our life. Otherwise, we wouldn't be called artists. Yeah. So
for sure.
Great. Yeah. So I mean, Haydn. I played it so many times, and each time I had to change lots of things. So yeah. Okay. Good luck. So let's start. You play, and then to get a general ideas, and I might stop you at one point and. Maybe I don't have to. So let's see. Beautiful, yeah. Good. Now we'll work on beginning, and then we go to the second tune and just great. No, brilliant. I mean, technically is great, so we can do lots of things. There are lots of 3 approaches at least to the Haydn. Obviously, I was lucky enough when I approached this concerto that I have to approach by performing with an orchestra. So then it's a totally different world. Yeah. So like the sound, how we produce the sound, how you do everything, how to vibrate. And then is the approach when you have to play in auditions for orchestras, where you have to change drastically your approach if you want a place in the orchestra. Otherwise, yeah. And then it's the, let's say, musicological, from the academic point of view, if you want to play in style, which, by the way, no cellist in the world plays this in style. Yeah. So saying that, it's worth practicing this, because each time I practice in a baroque, not baroque, but less vibrato, even with the baroque bow, which is not baroque, but the bow they use in Haydn's time. When I in front of the orchestra, I say, what the hell, let's leave everything out. We go for the romantic style. Yeah, big success, goodbye. Yeah, but I always wanted to try to play the usual. Now, it's very important for you to be able to play all 3 options very well. And the vibrato could be our worst enemy. I don't say that you have to play with you have to use a lot of vibrato, because this is how the people were used to play. This is how the people are expecting you to play. For the audience, same, yeah. But you have to have a fantastic right hand and a beautiful sound, because the right hand, don't forget, it's our voice, not the vibrato, nothing. This is what represents us, not the cello. It's just the bow. So this is close, yeah, to us. Good. So then definitely when you are at home, try to create the same at home in any other parts of the world, to create the same shape, the same beautifulness, but only the use of... You see, it's easy to go, it's beautiful from the beginning, yeah? But actually we don't know how well we project with the right hand unless we are a little bit nervous in front of an audience. So then, oh my goodness. Yeah, so... And there's something else also I wanted to talk, because when you try to play in classical style or baroque style for Bach suites, there is a tendency to reduce the use of the hair, the bow. But actually we have to use like balloons, like say soap balloons, like lots of hair, yeah? And and not on the fingerboard necessarily. You have to you have to be able to play piano or pianissimo wherever, I don't know, even closer to the bridge. So that will be a task not for any cellist. I do the same, because it's easy to play nice here, but then and of course it's classic, but it's easy to... So I don't know if you notice, when I do vibrato, I stop the speed on the for a strange reason. But if I don't use the vibrato, I have to do... You can do a bow as well. By the way, I don't know if you use Helle, but on the digital version, I always play staccato because I want to show off, yeah? But on the score, they are all separate bowings, by the way. I
know that.
So if you feel comfortable, no one... I know, again, people are expecting you to show off. Obviously, in the bigger hall, you are more relaxed because you use more bow. But you increase the dynamic drastically, no? So let's make a story short. Let's try once without the use of the vibrato, concentrate only on the bow, no matter how miserable you'll feel. That's the idea, by the way, yeah. Good. Okay. So now, what dynamics is it written in your Helle edition?
Well, in Handla it's quite it's nothing because it's...
No, but the very first dynamic, the beginning.
There's no dynamic. Yeah, there's no dynamic.
Okay, so then gives you the space to explore. Okay, let's try to make it a little bit mezzo forte. Yeah, because it's not this kind of dark, quiet moment. Oh, you start straight. Very elegant, yeah? I mean, the orchestra starts the same. They have piano, maybe, but you know, when orchestra plays piano, it's mezzo forte at least. So all together, combined forces. So what I want you a little bit more speed, like and try to go just a tiny bit, not on the bridge, but at least a little bit closer to the bridge than you did before, maybe an inch or two.
Yeah, I'm sorry you can't see. You can't see my bow properly, but
yeah, I can't see. I don't know why. It's fine. Let's see.
Yeah.
Make a little bit bigger sound. Let's say, put it this way, but more speed as well.
for 1 second, please.
Yeah. Good. Now, I suggest, because again, there are different ways of performing. There are millions of versions out there, all beautiful. It's just, and you cannot pick because you have to make it your own. But I suggest to just go a little bit on slow motion when you practice, because actually there are lots of details. It's not a Baroque music, but you can just play. So, for example, and actually they're very strict rules, first and third beats. Now you play a little bit softer here, which is beautiful, I like it, but from a harmonic point of view, so that's we are introducing the A sharp there. So and again, I don't know what's in the Helle edition here, because I didn't hear the A sharp. It's different here.
Yeah, there is a E sharp there.
And because it's on the slurred, it's easily cannot be heard. So I mean, we try to play classical, but the way it's written, you know, like all those jumps and it's like a bravura in a way, yeah. So it's tricky to combine those forces. But one problem I've noticed in lots of students, because you are trying to play so nice and beautiful and in style, and you reduce the sound, the volume of the sound, and I mean, it looks okay, but it's just at the limit. If it's like little nerves coming in, that will be gone, you know? And I tell you from past experiences, performing live. So that's why I said, if you play with an orchestra, there's like a big shock for the first time. Say, wow. So then you have somehow to raise your sound, but to keep it in a beautiful way. So always try to play one dynamic up at the moment, what is written, but try to play in style. I mean, it's easy to say, even for me, yeah. So, but just try to liberate, you know, like in yoga, when you open up the core, yeah. It's the same in music. So you should start yoga classes in Limerick, yeah.
Well, I did a bit.
It's very important. Djokovic, he was a poor tennis player when he started, I mean, making fun. When he started yoga and all this, he got confidence, opened up just a fraction more, a hair, and #1 in the world. So you should become #1 in the world, just breathing in and open a bit up. Yeah? So lots of confidence. Let's start one more time, and then we keep going. Yeah, we didn't go into very detail. Good. Just a very teeny tiny example. So we have you got bar numbers in there?
Yeah.
So a beat to bar 31, you have yes, and then the third beat. Yeah. So obviously that's louder. It's easy. First beat louder, and then the third beat. But I have to hear that when you are playing. And then you have 2 up notes, or don't forget you are in classical styles, you play, I'm exaggerating, but more on the more legato style. Yeah, just very little. And the last one, and then we continue, because that's like a lot of work, I can tell you. I mean, I work endlessly, hours and hours, and each time I play this concerto, I wouldn't tell you how many hours I was practicing 1 week before, but on the day on the concert, I have to practice 5 hours and then to play in the evening. So there's no other way, because that's one of the trickiest, but the most beautiful. I love this. Now, bar upbeat to bar 35, we have so we have a grace note and a trill. So that's for the first time when you got a grace note and a trill, and one after the other, yeah? Because we have the beginning, but here you have so first beat, we have to emphasize, and a trill. So each time you see a grace note or a trill, you have to do something special. That's why the composers put those. There's beautiful notes. There's something they have to stick out, yeah? So don't just go... something there. So, but not only here, everywhere. Now let's keep going, because yeah, I like to go more. Good. Very important, this one. That's big tension there, yeah? How do you do this? I mean, I would recommend really to practice without bow. Because when you have to play this kind of, you feel like your right hand should be in the air, then we have a feeling to loosen up a little bit the fingers, but actually we have to play the most articulated ever we played in any other piece on this one. Otherwise it would be like the right hand quality if we don't. And you hear all these big cellists without any shame, just you kill the string there, yeah? But here, very delicate. So two opposites, stronger. Okay, how do you approach the beginning? This one. You go or
well, it's more like the plain, like.
Good. And how is it slurred? Is it 2, 4, and 4, or 8?
It's 8 here in the edition.
Good. So then go. So go for the first beat, because that's the upbeat and the downbeat. So really emphasize. And again, tension. That's something very important. We always forget about it. Music is always made in tension and release, tension and release. And we have a tendency to put makeup on the tension, depending on which finger position we are, like, it's tension and release. I mean, you can do vibrate, but if you vibrate the tension, you have to do something even more special for this one. So you use more tools than you should, but just try to figure it out which notes. I mean, easy. What are the tensions? Yeah, like the 7. So you find them everywhere. Yeah, but or strange notes. Yeah, like which were not part of the. It's easy. Yeah. So, but try to put this one, and you'll see that you'll have a different perspective once you do that. So, because then you use a little bit more heavy bow on the, and then more easy bow, light bow, but vibrato. So. Yeah, so let's try. Good, and now I'd recommend, no, that was very well the way you did it. Exactly, this is how it should be. But saying that, that's a tricky bit to reach this one. And not 50-50 chances, but 80% chances. So 20% is we might not catch the first one. So then that's why I like you to practice with confidence, at least until you get it out of your skin. So just go for it, even though when you play, it will be the opposite to. But if you don't have this practice of hitting hard, you cannot practice. It's a bit unnatural to play very relaxed with the right hand and to strike the finger. So then just go for it practice-wise, 2, 3, 4 days in a row. And then you change the right hand. But this will become like a habit, like a reflex to hit the top note. Okay, let's go this and then we keep going. But that was perfect, by the way. Good, but just to say, wait. So don't, even if it's wrong, I want you now to work on the karate, power and the confidence. You go for it. Could be sharper or flatter, but each time you play, you try to correct. Yeah. So it's not like an audition. So you play as many times, but always with confidence. Could be the worst possible scenario. It doesn't matter. Good. Just 2 questions. Bar 37, are the bowings in your edition all the same? 2 slurs, 2 separate? Okay, because it doesn't make sense to slur them completely at the very end the way you did it. Because I don't know if you did it like 2 and 2. Yeah, okay, because I play different bowings, but it's very important to keep the same patterns. Ti, ta, ta, ti. It's just a descending line, and you keep the same pattern. So there's no, but you can start a little bit more confident. And here, you play a little bit too quick and too soft. After you play, what's the... So this playful, just try, because Haydn was full of humor in all his works. We just see him in the pictures, we're very serious, but he was the naughtiest of them all, even more than Mozart. But was inside, but was the most funny man. I mean, you'll go to a pub with him and you'll not get bored for a while. So I do different voices, but it doesn't really matter. But it's important to keep the same pattern, because music, like maths, that's the only way our brain can work. It should be repeated patterns. So la da dim pi da 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 da. Always try to enlarge the time and to shorten the time. In music, this is it. The main beat of each bar is the same. If you put a metronome, like, I don't know, 20 or 30. But inside, it's our taste, our freedom as artists is just that in between 1 and 1. We can't go more, we can't go less. It's just crazy. Yeah, but that's the only way we can express ourselves. So just try. What's this famous Russian conductor who conducts only like this? Yeah, but actually, I was laughing at the beginning, but it makes sense musically. I can understand why, and it's brilliant. It's not ta, ta. It's like, I mean, it's the rhythm is there, but it's not. It's like 1, 2. Could be 1, 1, 1, 1. There's always a little bit of freedom in between. So try to have a little bit more fun. I know it sounds scary on Haydn, but yeah. Yeah. Now we have to create, because in classical music, you have to create a little bit more shape. I mean, obviously, in Schubert, that's the hardest to create an amazing, one movement shape. But here we can try. So you have few options, but not so many. Either you go and then or we go the other one. We go so always you have to make up a plan, yeah? So it's very important, yeah? It's like a teamwork. So what's the plan for today? We go there, 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 there. Of course, there might be a road work. We have to take a diversion. I don't know. We feel nervous, so we have to change the fingers. We go more like this than so. But we always have to have a plan. So you start. I don't know anything, you see, and it doesn't really matter how you are, but it's just you bring the audience with you because you have a plan, you are the leader, and they see this, they follow you. I mean, could be a crazy leader, I don't know, Attila the Hun or something, or could be, I don't know, Nelson Mandela or something, but it's very important. You have to have this plan before that. So, or you start maybe that's better. So let's try just for fun today. Maybe it's not worth it. Start a little bit louder. And then keep loud and then increase and tirata, bring the tension. Open up just a bit more, and it sounded so confident, and you just increase a little bit of dynamic, a little bit of pressure, but you use more bow. So the character was the same, but it was like 10 times better, you know? Because you have to feel confident, and then the audience will feel confident too. And sometimes it's tricky. But you know, Pablo Casals, even at 83, he said that since he was 16, he played for the first time with the orchestra, whatever, he swore to God that that will be his last performance, yeah? And then, since then, he swear after each of his performances that will be the last one. And he continued until 80, whatever, in his 80s. But you cannot escape this feeling. We all have this, yeah, just out there. I don't know why, but that's the way it is. So that's on our back. We know that is going to happen. So then just try to act, because it's not you, you are a tool. So if you look at you as just a tool to project the music to the audience from the composer, it's not you. You're Adrian or Adrian or yeah. So it's just the music, a cellist bringing the music. Okay, good. Let's keep going.
Sorry, just before you keep going, there's 10 minutes left in the lesson.
Yep.
Thanks.
Good. Now, not that until now was not crazy technical difficult, yeah? But actually there's the show of passage. Like this, so, and even this one. I mean, it's like explosion, like Stephen Easterly style. I mean, that's like a motor, like an engine. Now we can talk about style, how much, how less, but this is where the cellist, yeah, they will show off. I mean, we already show off enough at the very beginning, all this crazy. But actually the beginning was meant to be more, yeah, delicate, fragile. But here you just and then I mean, it's very important. Now, I know this edition, but I definitely don't feel. And actually, that's even worse than that, because usually you have the. That's very safe and easy, yeah? It's okay. one step further, but all, if not 99%, they go. Now, if you play in an audition, definitely is the closest you can get. But if you play here, no, I mean, I know it's written ad libitum, so that means that everything is fine. But no one will take you, not you, but someone who plays in this position. I mean, to be honest, it's written ad libitum, so you can play whatever you want. But not what is always right in this world will bring us good, you know, yeah? So we have to do. I always play, but then I see all my fellow friends who, and it makes sense in a concert hall when you play with the orchestra, it's like, oh, and they kill it, yeah, here. So at least I suggest the other one, it's legally right, but wouldn't bring you any good, yeah?
Yeah.
So trust me on that one. Okay, let's go for the next team. Just very quickly. Of course, that's the next question, which is a tricky one, but I know. But just going on this one. So, have you got any dynamic at the beginning?
Well, this is very text edition, so it doesn't say anything.
Okay, and what about when you are on the A string?
as well.
Yeah, because you see, it was a costume. I mean, I don't know if you look at any chamber music written by Haydn or Mozart, it's very rarely any information given. But because, I mean, in Haydn at Esterhazy, the musicians were playing only Haydn's music, no? So there's no, they knew their style, it was so easy, no? So it's the same like Bach, same, yeah, he was playing every week another mass, another, yeah, cantata, whatever. So the musicians, singers, they know. Sometimes he wouldn't even finish the word. So that doesn't mean that the music is always like this. Obviously, you start lower octave, but then you stretch an octave higher. Imagine a choir singing, no? So you have to stretch a little bit more, yeah? Now, very important, the articulation. Anybody else? So, because many times you play, for example, I'm exaggerating, so there's always wow, wow, wow. Lots of, yeah, when you shave yourself, I don't know if you still use this, I don't know how you say it in English, no? When you put I have to do it today for the first time, so I understand, yeah, how. So loosen area, so like, like a gelatin. So it's not when you have to lock down your arm, yeah. Mozart style, opera. I mean, if you listen to opera, when they sing, they do and you did this, but could be even more obvious, because you know, in the concert we tend to, I don't know, play less than what we practice, 80% out of 100. So that's why we have to exaggerate, to enlarge when we are practicing, and then it will come just right in the concert. So let's go one more time, and when you reach the octave, a little bit more confident. Here.
Yeah, I'll go from the lower line.
Yeah. make fun. Good. But don't say the same joke twice. Yeah, because it's not music. I mean, I do I mean, very tiny. I'm exaggerating. You can pick only one, either maybe the first one or whatever, or none. But don't. It's called like a bad habit. And I went through this one, and I don't want you to go to this path. Yeah. So try first, even better practice without anything. And in the concert, it will be inspiration, because you can do this very nice. But now let's say, like, you know, making fun of royalties. Yeah, they just, and then quickly. Yes. Good. Now, if you attack before the beat, don't make it sound like a mistake, because you just did it. I always say, if you try to do something unorthodox, unusual, it will sound like a mistake. So then you have to either not do it or overdo it to show that this is obvious. Yeah. So let's go straight from here.
Sorry to interrupt. We just have 1 minute left, and there is a talk on in 5 minutes.
Okay,
so
good.
1 more minute.
Yeah, just give me this passage and we finish. I just forte with confidence, and then we finish. And here, I'm joking now, but it's this kind of, try to see the funny side of Haydn, because you can play this, it's like making fun of the royalties listening to you don't have to do this, but you have to have in mind this one, because there are repeated notes. It's not just because, it's just that they're waiting. And I like it to be a little bit more free on this. You know, if you listen singers style, because they are not afraid to overdo things. We are afraid as performers, but we are trying to imitate a human voice. No, we are trying. So why are we afraid? I mean, imagine a singer, how would sing this one? There's so many up and down and up and down. And if we create this feeling of wanting to go rush, we create like, we are not confident. And even if we are not confident, I always say, take more time and have a top E, which is very important there. So that's definitely where we have to arrive. I mean, that will be a life work on this work, but it's a pleasurable one. And I always say, not always play loud, but try to play a little bit more confident, more solid. And then the second time you try to play softer, the dynamics, you are used to it, but always try to push yourself, but try to keep the same character. Even if you go closer to the bridge, might sound a little bit too ugly, but just try different things to get you out of your inner box. I mean, I have to do the same. Yeah, for me, it's the opposite. I have to be more calculate, more clinical sometimes, but I do this because I always have to put me in an uncomfortable position in order to feel comfortable on stage. Like when you play a slow movement, you play it twice slower. If you have to play a fast passage, you play it twice faster. So then when you do it the right way, relax.
Thank you. So
anyway, good luck with the work on Haydn. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Long time process.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you very much.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
I can't hear you.
No, sorry about that. Thank you so much, Adrian. That was fantastic. And thank you so much to all of the students. You all played beautifully. We have a talk starting in 5 minutes with Richard Wigmore on the Bach cello suites. And Adrian, we look forward to hearing you tomorrow night with your Beethoven sonatas. That'll be fantastic.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, everyone.
See you guys. Enjoy the rest of the